driving in your car going through an intersection, you do not realize the car in your right-hand lane wants to make a left-hand turn. You don't have enough time to react, so you swerve into incoming traffic. This causes a chain reaction of accidents to happen. 5 people died that day. When the police questioned the driver, he said he was texting and driving and did not realize he was in the wrong lane. One 5x2-inch device caused the death of 5 people. How many of you have ever texted and drove? Did you know that according to don'ttextanddrive.com, individuals who are texting are 23% more likely to be in a car crash than other drivers? A crash typically happens 3 seconds after the driver is distracted. The United States Department of Transportation notes that cell phones are involved in 1.6 million auto crashes each year that cause 500,000 injuries and 6,000 deaths. Today, I will be talking to you about why you should not text and drive. By the end of my speech, you will have learned startling statistics that might even make you scared to text and drive again. I will tell you the stories of those left behind and lost, and I will give you some startling statistics, and not least, I will give you some information on what you can do to help yourself stop texting and driving. Now that I have stated my 3 main points, I'd like to address my first point, stories of those killed and left behind. A mother and her 2-year-old daughter were walking down the street after a playdate. When a car was coming, he did not realize that they were in the street and hit them head-on. The daughter was killed instantly and the mother was critically injured. A 23-year-old United States Marine was about to deploy to Afghanistan. He was willing to sacrifice his life for our country, but he did not die in Afghanistan, nor did he ever make it there. One night, the Marine was texting and driving. He lost control of his vehicle and veered off the road. He was ejected from his vehicle and died of a massive skull fracture. He left behind his 2-year-old daughter who has no mother. Now that I have told you about the most heartbreaking part of my speech, let me give you some statistics to put with those stories. The National Traffic Safety Administration defines distracted, affected crashers as those that involve distractions such as dialing a cell phone or texting and distraction by an outside person or event. In 2012, 3,323 people were killed in distracted affected crashes and 421,000 people were injured. In 2012, there were 3,050 distraction-affected fatal crashes, about the same as the 3,047 that happened in 2011. These 3,050 distracted-affected fatal crashes accounted for 10% of all fatal crashes in the nation, 18% of injury crashes, and 16% of all motor vehicle crashes. In 2010, distraction accounted for 17% of the total economic loss, responsible for as much as $170 billion in costs. Imagine how many more people have cell phones now as compared to 3 years ago, due to the increase in popularity of cell phones and how much more you can do on them. So not only are people texting and driving, they're surfing the net and driving. The Virginia Tech Transportation Institute installs cameras on dashboards inside truck cabs. For the video footage, on average, it took 5 seconds with their eyes off the road. The distance covered in 5 seconds, driving at 55 miles per hour, is the length of a football field. So, you're driving 55 miles per hour blind. Driving a vehicle while texting is 6 times more dangerous than driving while intoxicated, according to the National Highway Safety Administration. Now that I have told you about some statistics, let me tell you about what you can do to help prevent yourself from texting and driving. Don'tTextAndDrive.com has many more facts than I have just stated that can prevent you from texting and driving once you know them. 10 states, plus DC, prohibit all drivers from using handheld cell phones. 32 states and DC prohibit beginner drivers from using their cell phones, and 39 states plus DC prohibit all drivers from text messaging. These dots indicate each color, what I have just said, and as you can see, Florida has none of these. There are also many apps that can actually prevent you from using your phone while you're driving, and other apps that do not let calls come through your phone, but instead send the person a text message, which is automated, to let the person know that you're driving and will contact them when they are done. You can get more information on these types of apps at itcanwait.com. Now you've all heard the statistics and seen how life-changing driving and texting can be. How many of you would be willing to put your phone in a glove box while you're driving? If you don't want to do that, how many of you would be willing to fill out this pledge and say you will no longer text and drive? Thank you.